Three generations of women fight back against those who could take everything from them. Hey everybody, Mark Johnson here, founder and creative director of Abe Studios, back again with another movie review. And the movie I'll be reviewing today is Gunpowder Milkshake, a 2021 film release directed by Navot Papushado, written by Navot Papushado and Ehud Levitsky. And in this film, as we kind of start out the film, we realize that we are in a kind of an alter type of universe. You know, it's kind of everyday, but at the same time, as they explain in the beginning of the film, there's a group of men who rule everything, and the people who kind of, in a sense, are kept in place by the firm, and the firm our main character works for, and our main character is Sam, and she's played by Karen Gillian, and she plays she is an assassin in this movie. And this movie kind of, you know, in a sense, kind of has some homage to other types of films. I think one of the films that, you know, kind of keeps screaming at me as I watched this film was any of the John Wicks. It's kind of like a John Wick type film, or maybe even kind of like a Atomic Blonde kind of take. And both of those movies are entertaining in themselves, but this one is, I would say, definitely on a different level. You know, first we have kind of like a more of a female cast than in any of those other films, but I think from there, the quirkiness and just kind of like the oddball sensibility of this film is on its own. I think that's one of the reasons, or a plus, that makes this a interesting film. As we start the film, we kind of get the breakdown of what this universe is all about, or this era, this time, and we see Sam, and she's on a hit, and for whatever reason, in her words, it doesn't go right, and she kind of knows that at this moment, and there's like this flash, and she knows, yeah, things didn't go right. And so when she leaves the hit and heads home and kind of like ends up into her everyday life, she gets the call from her head director, and that's Nathan, played by Paul Giamatti. And he needs to meet with her immediately, and they have a meeting place, and it's called a diner. It's kind of like a safe space, in the sense that, you know, you can't have any guns there, or you got to check your guns in at the door, but other weapons other than that seemingly are okay. And so when Sam gets to the diner, she has some flashbacks because she's had some memories there, and one of the memories that sticks out was probably about 15 years prior, and it happened to deal with her mom. Her mom is Scarlett, and that's played by Lena Headey. And so we have this flashback, and we see what had happened, and her mom had left her at a young age, probably 8-10 years old. And so at that point, Nathan has been taking care of her since that. So when they meet, they kind of have a little bit of background between them, and so they can talk honestly and openly. And so as they talk, Nathan lets her know that she's done bad. You know, what she was exposed to do was supposed to be very simple, but she turned it into something else, and then all the carnage that came out of it was even worse. And so after he kind of reprimands her and kind of lets her know that, you know, there's probably another foot or another shoe that's going to fall pretty soon with this case, that she is sent on another case, and that he will give her the details at a certain point. And then he also recommends that she get some new weaponry so that she can better be concealed and not be using relics. To get the new weaponry, she needs to go to the library, and in the library, that's where she will meet other characters who are assassins. And so whether she knows this going into the library or not, she has disguised herself, or at least concealed her identity a little bit with a hat and the trench coat, just so that she can be, you know, a little more concealed. But whatever the case is, Madeline, who is played by Carla Gugoni, notices her and, you know, starts to question, you know, about her identity, because she doesn't have all the right answers to the questions that she needs, being that this is the place where assassins get their new weaponry. So she's taken to the back and meets the rest of Madeline's crew, and that involves Anime, which is played by Angela Bassett, and then Florence, which is played by Michelle Yeoh. Sam is getting her new weaponry. She gets the call for the address. So she rushes from the library to the address towards her next hit. This next hit that she's on is, in a sense, a pickup thing, in the sense she's supposed to get the target and return the money to the firm, which is her employer. And when she does this, she's trying to ask some questions and not necessarily be so direct about it, because it's just one man. He seems not very well armed, or knows how to take care of himself. But she ends up either accidentally or just kind of in a fray. She shoots him, and as the phone is ringing this whole time, the man finally gets to the phone and answers it. And it comes to find out it's the men that are holding his daughter for ransom, and the reason why he stole the money was to pay for her return, her safe return. And so at this point, Sam is in a little bit of a twist. She wants to do right, and she sees that there's someone in danger, and in a sense, someone was doing what was right, but at the same time, what was wrong by stealing the money. And so she decides to help him. She takes the wounded man, to her hospital where he can be patched up. Being it's a gun wound, you can't take him directly to the hospital. So she takes him to another safe space where he can be managed. But they don't know what they can do. He looks like he's on his last leg, and she's still getting the call. So she decides to go on her own to the location spot for the drop, which is a bowling alley. And at the bowling alley, we meet the guys that are holding his daughter for ransom. And as they kind of, run her through the ring to kind of decide what they're going to do with her, being that's not the person they expected, we see that she is, in a sense, a badass, because what ends up happening is Nathan sends his own personal guys to go and get her, because now again she's broken some more rules and they need to kind of rein her in. So in the end, the things that kind of drew me to this film, or that I draw out of the film that I like, is the story. It's an interesting take on the assassin story, or the conglomerate and assassin story. So I like that, with the female cast and all that. I like the quirkiness. The film has a little bit of a quirk and oddballness about it. And it's just kind of, it's refreshing, I think the fight scenes hold up. I think that was one thing that I was going to be questioning as I watched, is it going to hold up? Do I really think this person's doing the job, or is this a stunt person? And then also just kind of the character development. I think that was very interesting to see how the characters were developed and what they had to say, and how they kind of work together, getting over past issues. So I think with all of that, for this film, I'm going to give it a solid 4. I really enjoyed this film. I didn't go in thinking I would enjoy it, but, I had some reservations, but it does hold up. Let's just say that. I would recommend this film to anyone looking for, a little bit of action, but at the same time, a little bit of, a story that's pretty interesting, and some acting performances that hold up, and some actresses that, are well known. So that has been my review for Gunpowder Milkshake, a 2021 film release, directed by Navot Papushado, written by Navot Papushado, and Ehud Lavisky. Yeah, if you like this review, make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you like what I'm doing with the channel, make sure to subscribe. And if you have any questions, comments, or would like to recommend a movie for me to watch and a review on this channel, make sure to leave that all in the comment box below. And then lastly, if you want to be updated on any of my upcoming posts or any of my future movie reviews, make sure to ring that bell. And so again, that has been my review for Gunpowder Milkshake, a 2021 film release. And like we always do this time, have a blessed day. I will see you on the flip side. Let's go.